Warning, this episode contains adult language, mature situations, classic thief antics, unique artwork, cool heists, manga news, and Lupin the III. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Listener and viewer discretion is advised. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? Hope you're excited for another fun-filled episode of this awesome podcast you can find at www.spiraken.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and various other social media types. Just type in SPIRAK and I guarantee you'll find us one way or the other. And if you are watching on YouTube, remember to like, share, subscribe, click on that bell for notification, and let's actually get to it because I am really excited to talk about this manga today because if you remember from that last episode, I spun that one that only the Wheel of Manga dictated on to be reviewing a manga that is a second collection in a series. And what series am I talking about? Well, I am talking about one that was written by one of the greatest mangaka of all time. We are talking about Monkey Punch. And this was released originally by Futabasha and brought over here by Seven Seas Entertainment. Now, this is a collection of works. So these are from all the periods of time of this great franchise that's been going out for quite some time. It was originally released in Manga Action Magazine, and originally came out in 1967, and technically is still coming out because there are some spin-off series for this. But the original series was 67 to 69. I have talked about this manga several times in various iterations. I've talked about the original release, the Tokyo Pop release, the last collection, and now this one. I'm very excited for this because this collection, which is one volume only and is complete, is a collection of some of the best works from this series. Now, the demographic of this is adventure, action, comedy, mature, and crime, because it's a heist series. It is a seinen series, and the original name for this manga was Lupin Sansei, but is known in English simply as Lupin the III Thickest Thieves, the Classic Manga Collection. Now, this is the second collection brought to us by Seven Seas Entertainment, and it compiles 13 more of Monkey Punch's best stories and chapters from Lupin III throughout history, with new translations. It's a beautiful hardcover and some amazing artwork. And for those of you who've never listened to my reviews of Lupin III or have never seen Lupin, Lupin is the man. Lupin is the grandson of great French thief Arsène Lupin, who was written by Maurice Lamarck, all the way back in the 1800s, and he is the grandson. He is amazing at what he does. What he will do is he will steal an item, he will send a message to the owner saying, I'm stealing it this day, and he will accomplish that goal completely, sometimes by himself and sometimes assisted by his right-hand man, Jigen, the greatest marksman in the world, who'd never seen without his hat. You have Goemon, a swordsman who helps him out. And then, of course, there is his love interest slash arch nemesis slash best friend, Fujiko, who is... Well, Fujiko has an entire series called The Woman Called Fujiko Mine, which talks about her. You can watch it on several sites. And then, of course, they're constantly pursued by Interpol detective Zenigata, who is constantly trying to get Lupin one way or the other through some way. And this is the second collection of stories about it. It's a mixture of a couple of good heists that have happened. One of them involves a museum heist. One involves a island that technically belongs to nobody, but is actually the ancestral home of Lupin's family. So that's going on. And there's a couple of other heists going on. And pretty much these are wash, rinse, repeat designs that are well done and unique. The art style is very dated for its time. It is very 1960s and 70s, but it looks well done. The women are drawn sexily, Lupin is drawn very thin, Jigen is drawn very scruffy, and Goemon looks very put together. And sometimes the characters look exactly the same, sometimes it looks slightly different, but it all works out. Characters will die in this. There is violence, there is a lot of darkness in it, and you are rooting for the bad guy, which is Lupin, but Lupin is a thief with a heart of gold. So, yeah. And the stories are very different, and because of them focusing on Lupin doing different things. One is he's trying to break someone out of a prison cell, which turns out that he couldn't break the person out of the prison because they were killed the day before, kind of unique. Another one is about Lupin trying to outsmart the Rat Gang, which was introduced all the way back in the 70s and were hinted at in the original collection, which we talked about a couple of years ago, about 2 years ago. And, well, there's more Fujiko Mine to talk about and her outsmarting everybody because Fujiko Mine outsmarts everyone because she is the smartest person in the room 9 times out of 10. And that is what this manga is about. It is a throwback to the awesomeness that is Lupin III and a love letter to some of the greatest heists that he has done. And some of it is not the best. For example, him being lost in the middle of a desert looking for some gold that he had forgotten and a camera following him the entire time and how Lupin outsmarts it. Or maybe he doesn't. We don't know. You have to see how Lupin gets past things. And of course, always following him is Zenigata, who's trying to catch Lupin in the act. In 9 times out of 10, Lupin always has the upper hand in unique ways that are very different and very crazy. And I gotta say, I love Lupin. I think he's one of my favorite characters. I cosplay as him, usually red jacket or blue jacket. I can't wait to do black jacket or green jacket, but yeah, this is Lupin, and that's really all I can say about this. It is a series which is truly unique and different, and, well, what can I say? It is Lupin III, and honestly, yeah, I'm a fanboy for Lupin. I think he is great. I think everyone should buy this collection. It is well done. I love the fact that it has the great thick cover. The artwork for Lupin, Jigen, Goemon, and Fujiko is not the best on the cover, but I do like the style of this. This one doesn't have any essays in it. It gets right to the point, but it guarantees that more is coming, and I cannot wait for more to come. Now, for that reason, because it isn't dated story, there are some people who will not find this as exciting. It is out of order. It's some stuff is going on, but for the most part, it's not a cohesive story. If you don't know the characters, you're not going to know what's going on. And that is a little bit of a detriment to it, but regardless, you know what I'm going to give this. I'm going to give this a really, really cool read it now. Lupin is worth reading. Lupin is one of the best characters ever written. The original one was amazing. I finally got a book on the original Lupin. I picked it up, and it's just as good as this. It is the thief outsmarting the detective in such a unique way, and I gotta say, I love it. It's great and well done. And yeah, so if you agree with me or if you disagree with me, let me know. You can email me personally at Zan, that's Xan at Spiraken.com, or tweet me at Spiraken, and let me know your thoughts on if you like Lupin the III, if you're going to check this out, or if you think I'm crazy for liking Lupin. Let me know. And with that in mind, let's actually get to the random question for the day, which is one which is kind of fun. And that is going to be very simply, what do you think about Lupin, and what item would you want Lupin the III to steal? There's a cosplayer who goes to every single convention who steals different things, from the Declaration of Independence to the Statue of Liberty. And it makes me wonder, what would you want Lupin to steal? Would you like him to steal something from the Louvre? Would you like him to see something from Congress? What are you thinking? Let me know. Email me at zanspiraken.com or tweet me at Spiraken. And with that in mind, let's actually get to the manga releases for the week, because we've got a bunch of them, and I'm excited to talk about them. So let's get to it, shall we? So for this week, the manga releases that were released are, and I quote, The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You, Volume 9. This one I was shocked got a new volume. Then we have Am I Actually the Strongest, Volume 5, the light novel. Animal Crossing New Horizon, Volume 6. Ayakashi Triangle, Volume 8. Call of the Night, Volume 15. Cat on the Hero's Lap, Volume 2. Delinquent Daddy and Tender Teacher, Volume 3, 4-Leaf Clovers. Disney's Twisted Wonderland, Volume 3. Don't Tour With Me, Ms. Nagatoro, Volume 16. The Duke of Death and His Maid, Volume 11. Fly Me to the Moon, Volume 22. A Galaxy Next Door, Volume 6, and I believe this is actually the last volume of the series. Helk, Volume 8. How I Met My Soulmate, Volume 2. The Knight Captain is the New Princess to Be, Volume 3. Kuma 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 Bear Light Novel, Volume 17, and Kuma 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 Bear the Manga, Volume 8. Mao, Volume 16. Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation, the Light Novel, Volume 26. This is another one where I believe it is the final volume for the series. No Longer Allowed in Another World, Volume 5. Number Call. One Piece Volume 105. One Piece Ace's Story, the manga, Volume 1. One Piece Shugeki no Sanji. So we got 3 One Piece because it is One Piece month, and if you go to Barnes & Noble's, they're actually celebrating One Piece, which is pretty cool. Then we have The Poetry of Ron, Volume 2. Sheep Princess in Wolf's Clothes, Volume 2. The Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest, Volume 17. Who Wants to Marry a Billionaire, Volume 7. Wisteria, Wand and Sword, Volume 7. Yakuza Lover, Volume 12. Yakuza Reincarnation, Volume 9. And then last and certainly not least, we have Love, Yes, No, or Maybe, the light novel, Volume 2, Center of the World. Which of these are you most excited about? Let me know. Email me, zansparkin.com, or tweet me at Spiraken, or which are the ones that you are least excited about. For me personally, my top 5 for the week are going to be, surprisingly, The Duke of Death and His Maid, Volume 11, Fly Me to the Moon, Volume 22, and then the 3 One Pieces, because they're all very different. One Piece, Volume 105, is dealing with the Gear 5 story for Luffy. You have One Piece Ace's story finally being made into a manga instead of a light novel. And then Shigeki no Sanji is Sanji doing Shigekis. He's doing a food war, so it is really cool. The other ones that were on the list that we're debating about were Who Wants to Marry a Billionaire, No Longer Allowed in Another World, Galaxy Next Door, and then Cat on the Hero's Lap, because that looks really fascinating. But these are the ones I'm excited about. And which ones are you excited about? Let me know. Email me, zansparkin.com, or just let me know. And before we go any further, I'd like to say thank you so much for checking out this podcast. I appreciate each and every one of you, every email I get, every comment I get. It gives me more motivation to keep doing this podcast. I love doing this. I want to keep going till I'm an old man with thick glasses and, well, reading very thick manga. I'm going to keep going until I at least hit 1,000. So thank you so much. And before I go any further, as I said in the last episode, Akira Toriyama died a week ago, and it is a heavy loss for manga fans and anime fans. And we just discovered and just announced that unfortunately they are not going to be releasing any more Dragon Ball at this time. Everything is on hiatus, so it's a shame. And it's kind of funny because Sandland just got released as the anime, so I don't know if they're going to continue doing it or not, but it is really rough. But anyway, I digress. So thank you so much. And if you are watching on YouTube, remember to like, share, subscribe. Click on that bell for notification. If you're watching anywhere else or listening, subscribe. Check out our podcasts on iTunes. Leave us some comments on what you think about it, what you like, what you don't like. I do have a Patreon. It's currently I'm redesigning it for reasons. But remember, check it all out and help us support this podcast so I can make it the best I can be. So with that in mind, let's actually get to it. Because if you remember from last episode, it's that time for that one. That only. The Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, the Wheel of Manga, except no substitute. Now, what is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on it. And what I've done is I've assigned a manga title to each of the 10 slots. So what we're going to do is we're going to spin the wheel. Whatever number it lands on, that's what we're going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 549. Can you believe it? 549 episodes of this podcast since 2008. So I'm excited to see what we're going to review. So let's spin C, shall we? Number 4, Mission Yozakura Family. This one I'm hearing a lot of buzz about, and this one's actually getting an anime adaptation for spring 2024. It's another marriage manga, but this one apparently is about high school students and spies. It's like connected to Spy Family a little bit. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? We're going to find out, but I digress. As usual, I am your host, Zan. I am Gonzville. Catch you guys next time, and keep reading manga. See you later.